Ashley Metzger is with the Desert Water Agency. We're talking about your irrigation system at your home and how to keep your yard healthy but also not waste water. Thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. Irrigation is always a tricky subject, and not many people out here spend a lot of time getting to know their irrigation system. The most common problem we see is runoff. The easiest way to kind of start tackling that problem is to turn your system on and to just make sure that the sprinkler's actually hitting the right area. That's step one, because many times the angle on your sprinkler head can change over time. So just making sure that, maybe even once a week going out to check that the angles are such that they hit your grass instead of your driveway, that's a good step. Yeah,
every once in a while you need to check those sprinklers. I've done it with my house, like, oh, that one's just out into the street, and that's wasting water. It's not watering what you want. And you can avoid some of that runoff by doing some of those tricks. Also, they say, you were saying something, if it's on a slope, it's a great opportunity just to get rid of the grass because it's hard to keep that water from not going on the sidewalk.
Yes, the motto I like to use is if the only time it's being walked on is to be mowed, then it needs to go. So if you see those sloped areas, oftentimes those aren't highly trafficked. So you can just take that grass out, put in some desert-friendly landscaping. And there are actually some new, interesting low water use ground covers that you can experiment with too.
Okay, that makes sense. And in fact, it's not easy mowing a angled lawn either, so just get rid of it and save everybody a little bit of work. You said that the water pressure can vary a lot out here too in various areas. The water pressure can really play havoc with your sprinklers.
Yes, so in Desert Water Agency's system, the pressure we deliver to your home can range anywhere from 40 pounds per square inch to 120. So for your irrigation system, if you have spray heads, traditional spray heads for grass, you want those to be at about 30 pounds per square inch. And if you have the rotators, probably about 40. And if the pressure is too high, which oftentimes out here it may be if you haven't taken care of that, then what happens is they put out fine particles. We call it misting. So you've seen that perhaps, where the sprinklers actually, you can see a fine mist in the air.
It's just kind of blown away in the wind.
It does. So that water very often ends up on the sidewalk. So if you take care of that pressure issue, then it helps with the runoff. And there are really easy ways to do that. You can either replace each sprinkler head with one that has a pressure regulator in it, or you can get a pressure regulator installed at the valve for your irrigation system.
How interesting. You brought a picture or two. Let's take a look at these. Explain what's going on here. Is this the misting that's going on?
That's the misting. So you see the fine particles over the grass there, and then if even just a slight breeze comes, that'll knock it right onto the pavement there. And that's really what you want to avoid. And it can be really egregious. And the other thing I would say is short run times more often. So instead of watering for 10 minutes, water 5 times for 2 minutes each. And that will help if your landscape's sloped. That will help in a lot of circumstances. It gives the grass and the soil a chance to actually absorb the moisture.
Yeah, and so it's not just running right back onto the sidewalk, because you cannot grow grass on the sidewalk. So thanks so much for being here with us, Ashley. If you have any other questions, dwa.org/irrigation for good tips there. So thanks for being here with us.
Thank you.
New details are emerging, continuing with that shooting yesterday at UCLA. We're going to have that and all your top stories next. You're watching the Desert's news leader. Stay tuned.